Oof, 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 nagoof.
Was that Crystal Light? Or is that your kombucha stuff? Is it sun-kissed? Is it... I don't know what it could be. Sparkling water with lotus?
No. It's Zip Fizz.
What is that?
It's kind of like Crystal Light. It's like an energy drink that has like vitamin B and stuff in it and caffeine. It's like good for you, or it's better for you than,
Crystal Light or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much sugar, and it kind of like sparkles it, but not really. It doesn't really.
Okay.
Like, it's not carbonated, but
Well, yeah, I wouldn't think you could just add powder to water
Right.
and make it carbonated.
But it feels like it is, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Test. Test.
Get it out. Think I need to put 2 stamps on this?
No.
It's like 5 pages folded.
Wow, Rebecca has really bad eyesight. No, she doesn't actually. Not really bad.
All right. Do you want to start at 20 seconds after?
Yeah.
Get your yawn out.
Man.
Better not be yawning back and forth here.
I'm sorry.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Pew. Pew, 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 pew.
We're live. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew.
You didn't do your intro.
We're live.
You know that's what the people are here for.
I like it when you do the intro.
I like yours. It's perfect.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Becca. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. We're recording on Thursday because I was a space cadet yesterday and Ryan had to do taxes.
I wasn't doing taxes yesterday, but I was doing computer stuff, non-tax related. That was, distracting me. Actually, it was good because yesterday I applied to a couple shows on Zapplication, which one of them was due tomorrow, so it was good.
Can you find me a few shows?
You want me? There's one in Madison, Indiana that I applied for, which is it's not. I don't think it's that far from you.
Oh, that would be fun. We could do it together.
Well, I don't think it's like next to Indianapolis, but it's like 35 minutes from me. I don't know. It's probably about the same distance for you as it would be to come to Cincinnati, but it's in Indiana if that helps.
It is. There's a Walmart.
It's called Madison Chautauqua.
Oh, fancy.
It's been around for a long time. Yeah, that application's not due until June, I think.
Oh, wow.
It's in. I think the show's in September, maybe.
Actually, it is south of you.
South. Well, yeah, it's like go to Indiana and then go south along the river. Hold on, let me see exactly.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's probably the exact same distance from me. It's right between Cincinnati and Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it would take the same amount of time. That would be fun.
It's kind of like right on the river. Yeah, it's near Hanover. Yeah, I've never done it before. I'm applying for it for the first time, so I've heard it's good. It's been around for a while, so.
Can I tell you my idea for my garden stakes?
Sure. Is there anything new here about your day or anything before you want to go into that? Or let's hear garden stakes. Sorry.
This is new in my mind.
Okay.
It'll be quick. Okay, so you know how in my old booth I had like a board hanging in the booth.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Right in the middle. It was hanging on carabiners and rope. And so I want to do that. And then I want to cut holes in the board and then put plant pots in it. And then put my garden stakes in the plant
Oh, I
pots.
like that. So
Isn't
like a
that?
bunch of just holes and just big enough for a 4-inch pot or a 6-inch pot
Yeah,
to sit down
exactly.
inside it.
Because it has the little, um, you know, thingy on it. And
Yeah.
then, and
Plus it's
that
not gonna
way,
fall over or anything.
right. And that way I can take them all out and put it into my car flat, and I could just stack up the plant pots.
Yeah. Oh,
Look at me
so
thinking.
you're not gonna put soil or anything in them. You're just gonna
No.
put them in there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea. Are you gonna make the planters? Or are you just gonna get like terracotta or plastic ones?
No, I'm just gonna get plastic ones.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna. No. No.
Do you even know the brand? Like, plastic is the brand.
Plastic is the brand. That's like, did you see that conversation that me and Rebecca were having?
Yes, about the Tupperware and
Yeah.
I didn't know who it was. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I didn't say who
I
it was,
showed who it was. Okay.
but I was exclaiming how this update that I'm doing right tomorrow or on Saturday was like my favorite one yet, and she was like, "But is it better than Tupperware?" And I was like, "No."
Well, you said something about these are pieces I would actually put in my cabinet.
Yeah.
And you said would actually, meaning never in my life or something.
No, I said these are pieces that I would put in my cabinet for the eventual dish set that I'm going to make myself. And by eventual, I mean never.
Right.
Uh,
That's great.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I had a pretty productive day, right? First day out of the gate, I do not get up like Rachel and I were like, okay, yesterday we were like, all right, we're gonna get up or not early, but we were gonna get up and like go for a run before work. So we like went for a 30-minute run this morning. I didn't get up early. I got up at like 8:15, but I got normally I'm like snooze, 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 snooze.
Snooze.
So we did that and then got, good day at work. It felt a little more productive, I guess. And then I even like cut the grass after work, the front yard.
Wow.
So Rachel didn't have to. And then unloaded a couple kilns. Everything looked really good. Erica, my assistant, glazed most of that stuff. So, she was kind of, it's cool because she was like digging through and like looking to see like what went well, what didn't go well, because she's been like improving her glazing techniques a little bit. And she's like, getting more specific about, okay, I remember I had a little trouble last time with this thing. How did it look this time? And, where are the gaps? So it was fun. And then I was like, hey, what pieces do you like? And I was like, why don't you take a piece home? Like, so she got to pick one and she was all excited about that. So.
Oh my God, your smile right now is like, oh. I met Erica for the first time tonight and she's adorable. So.
Yeah, she's fun. So yeah, that's what's going on. And we're heading to Louisville tomorrow for the Easter weekend, and that should be fun.
Did I come to your guys' place last year for Easter?
I don't remember. What day of the week was when was my birthday in relation to it? Because I think you
totally did.
Okay.
No.
You came the weekend after
your
for my birthday, right?
Yeah, I came for your birthday, and the kids came and did their Easter, and we hid eggs. Remember?
Yeah, you probably did come actually because, well, Easter was on April 4th last year, so you did not come for that. But it was right around. It was the same kind of weekend as this year because it's like 17th, 18th is when you came.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kids came. Okay. Or maybe
because they couldn't come to your regular
I
Easter
gotcha. Okay.
at your mom's, so they came for your birthday party and they did eggs the next morning, remember?
Yeah. And Dee was hiding eggs for you.
Yeah, and then Dee hided eggs
Hid eggs for you.
Hid eggs and made me do a scavenger hunt.
She brought all the stops out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we counted how many candy dishes there were. No, that was Christmas.
I mean, you probably counted candy dishes anytime, but you counted them. You probably counted snowmen or Santas or something.
Your mom's the shit, man. She's like candy dishes, like live your best life, really.
And I don't think people even touch those candy dishes, honestly.
I do. I eat candy out of them whenever I come.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, the invitation stands. If you don't have anything to do this weekend and you want to come to Louisville, you can, but
I can't. I have something
right.
to do.
All right. So we'll see you here in a few weeks anyway. So
yeah, for sure. And we're gonna go bowling for our birthdays.
Yes.
Hooray!
When's the last time you bowled?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while.
What's a while? Like 5 years? 2 years?
Maybe 2.
Okay. We went for one of the kids' birthdays, or maybe it was just a kid outing or something. That was probably 6 months ago, maybe. It was pretty good. And then we were playing these games in the arcade forever to get these like cards and trade them in.
Yeah.
The freaking markup on those little bullshit toys.
Oh, I know.
Oh man.
Oh, when I was growing up, there was an arcade at the movie theater, and it was the shit. I can't believe they took it out. Wow.
Man, we were playing this like Avengers Marvel the coin drop, and then it does the little sliding thing.
Yes, the slider.
Yes, that's what we were caught up in.
You know what my favorite one was when the light went around in a circle and you had to like
I
press
love
the
that
button.
too.
I fucking love that game.
There was like a putt-putt course by my house in grade school that we would go to, and then they had this arcade back in like the garage area.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. I would play that. Yeah, the lights in the circle.
Yeah, and also like one of my favorite games is skee ball, but you don't get very many tickets. That's the problem. Is that
do you do the bounce off the side wall when you play, or do you just throw it straight?
I do not bounce off the sidewall.
You gotta go with the bounce off the sidewall right up near the ramp. You gotta like angle it.
Oh.
You get a little more consistency. Other than just expecting yourself to throw it like perfectly.
Yeah. Interesting.
You have to try it.
Interessante.
What's new with you? You got your cup date coming on.
Fup date.
2 days. Fup date.
We coined that term last week or like last month or something.
Trademark? Fup date.
Fup date. Yeah, I got my fup date happening on Saturday. We had a guy come to the studio, to Rebecca's studio, like Graves Co. Today, and he took videos of us. And did you sign up for that?
I did.
Okay, good. And he took videos of us and like throwing and like the studio and stuff, and he's gonna like do a video series on like successful businesses in Indy, so that's cool. I'll share it when it comes out. But yeah, and then I was like perusing his Instagram page and found like a giveaway for a microphone, and there's only 1 day left, so
hopefully I got like 7 entries in there because I did a lot of the things.
Did you click my link on the text?
No, because you first sent it to me on Instagram and I went there first.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't have sent it in 2 places.
I know. I almost texted you almost messaged you and was like, stop, because it told me I could get 2 extra points.
I know, I saw that. It said share your link and get extra.
Man, bitch. Anyway, so that was cool. And I started throwing shitty planters today.
For your own stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Is that just for shows coming up?
Yeah, there's like a show next weekend that's like It was like $35 at the Amp, which is like a market kind of place. And so yeah, and I talked to Andrew, and we decided that putting the hole on the side of the pot is actually better for the plant because it doesn't get clogged,
Okay.
the water. And so I did that, which was really nice because I just kind of like, that always is where it like cracks, in the bottom in the middle.
Potentially. Depends on how you
Potentially,
put the
like if
hole
it's
in
gonna
it.
crack, it's gonna crack there.
Right.
And so I put it on the side with my pinky while I was throwing it, and I was like, fucking breeze.
Yeah. Plus, they kind of like, as long as the bottom's, it always gets a little weird when you put it just right in the bottom because it could like indent it a little bit, and then the water's got to be so high that it actually drains. But
Yeah,
on the side, it's like gonna flow level and
out.
then just
And it's
like
always
out.
gonna go in the plate anyway, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you are gonna
So,
have saucers with them?
um, I started making saucers, and the clay that I got, per my request, was very soft because I wasn't planning on doing hand building. So I got to get some stiffer clay to get some saucers out. But yes, saucers are planned.
Okay.
Um,
So you got completely different clay from
no, I
Mudworks
got
or something?
Kentucky Mudworks, but I asked for like the newest batch, so it's super fucking soft.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Are you using
Um,
Dark Star or something different?
yeah, Dark Star.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited about those, and then I have to start stamping all of my garden stakes. I got to stamp them all and get funny sayings.
That's gonna take a while, right?
Yeah, it should. There's like probably 100 up there, maybe 200.
Wow.
No, probably 100. I put them in a box, a big box. So and just like chucked them up to my
And
apartment.
they are already glaze fired?
They're already glaze fired. All I have to do is stamp them with our um uh
It's an ink, right?
yeah, archival ink.
Archival.
Archival ink, and then so you stamp them with archival ink, and then you put them in the oven. And if I remember correctly, and I think that you could probably get away with just not okay. Okay, if I remember correctly, it goes cold to 350 for an hour and then cool down till it's cold. Like let it cool naturally. And I'm
Leave them in
wondering,
there.
yeah, and leave them in there until it's cold. And I'm wondering why the up and the down is so important. And I think it's just because they're expecting you to put like a mug that you get from China in the oven,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering if
Because
I
I mean,
did.
how many can you actually fit in there if you're ramping it up and down like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Or are
I
you
think
just gonna
that
use a kiln? Why would you not just use a kiln for that?
I could. I
Because if
could.
you're gonna have like 200, I mean, you're gonna have to turn your oven on and off like 6 times probably.
Exactly. But also like how many can I do in a night anyway? If I do it in batches.
Yeah.
So, and like the kiln just takes time like loading in the shelves and stuff, and really the kiln shelves are not that big for stacking things. I'll probably just do them in pans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two shelves.
Right.
I have a couple weeks.
Okay.
I have a week.
A week. I mean, you're making those planners last minute too, so if those are for next weekend,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah. I got to figure out something short term to put those fucking stakes in. I need to get just like a bucket with some sand or something. Actually, that probably would be a good idea regardless.
Yeah.
So, anyway, um your birthday is in 6 days.
Yes, I'm sure this is already going to be out by the time that's over.
Oh, they already know.
I mean, you mentioned in that last episode, I heard you.
Yeah, I know.
When I was getting whatever. At least it was at the front of the episode so people know what's going. No, they probably heard it.
Yeah. And okay, cool. And you're going to go to a comedy show for your birthday?
We're going to 2 comedy shows in Columbus.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we're going to Columbus for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then coming back Monday because the one of the shows is on Friday and one of them's on Sunday.
Nice.
We're going to Ron White on Friday.
Oh, lucky.
We'll see what you say about Sunday. And we're going to Bill Burr on Sunday.
I hate you. Jelly.
I wanted to go to Bill Burr for sure. And Ron White was saying it was kind of like one of his last years, maybe, but he's otherwise like he might not be touring a lot.
Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan and he was like, "I'm fucking done, man." He was like, "I'm old. I'm out."
He like plays golf 4 or 5 days a week and
yeah, I mean, like living the dream. What was I gonna say?
We just bought tickets to another comedy show that's going to be in Dayton in June.
Nice.
That one's hosted by Bert Kreischer. And it's got
what?
Do you want to go?
Yes, I love Bert Kreischer.
It's Bert Kreischer, Dave Attell, Big J Okerson, and Taylor Tomlinson. You like Taylor Tomlinson?
Taylor Tomlinson too?
It's all of them. They're doing it at a minor league ballpark in Dayton.
Oh my god. Wow. Oh, I had a dream about you. And
is that what you texted me about yesterday?
I think so. So this is great. So because we still haven't gone to dinner, which we should just do it in Cincinnati. Like when I'm out there this weekend. Or whenever that weekend is. But so I went to Cincinnati and apparently there was a Michelin restaurant in Cincinnati, and when I walked in there was like wooden octopus like decor all over the ceiling, and it was it was a seafood restaurant. And they were like obviously amazing. And I just like walked in without even like a reservation and like had food already. Like I had fettuccine Alfredo already in a bowl on a fucking tray, like a cafeteria tray. And I like walked in and just like sat at the table, and the waiter was like, you know what? You're pretty small. Do you want to sit down here instead? And I like ducked under the table and like walked to this new spot. And then when I got there, I was like trying to be inconspicuous with my Alfredo because I was like, I already ordered. And I was just there to like scope out the restaurant to see if we wanted to go for our dinner. And then this lady was sitting right next to me, and the waiter was like, "Do you want anything to drink?" And I only had $10.
You're like, what am I going to get for $10? Water?
And she was like, "Do you want to split some Merlot?" Oh, sorry. I didn't realize
me sending you something, but
yeah. She was like, "Do you want to split a bottle of Merlot?" And I was like, "Sure." And so and then I like got up to go somewhere. I don't know. And then I come back and her entire family had joined her after she had said like, "Oh, this is such a great restaurant. They don't allow children." And then her entire family like comes, and there's 2 kids. And then and then I'm like sitting on the end of their family in this booth area, and the waiter brings the Merlot, and the Merlot, like he didn't cork it correctly. So the cork like fell into the wine, and then the wine floated to the top of the ceiling like a balloon.
What the hell?
And then I was like, "Oh no!" And the wine.
The wine is lost.
And then the waiter comes up and is like, "Oh, the wine's up there." And so he shoots another cork from the bottle of water that he had in his hand and tried to hit the bottle of wine to pop it so it could come back down. And then how do I set this to silent? Just don't send me anything else.
I'm done.
Okay. And then I was like, "You know what? I gotta go." And so I like left, and then went into their store and stole some cheese. And then
Oh
I
my
walked
gosh.
outside and I called you and I was like, I'm going to be at your house in 10 minutes. And I started walking and then I was like, oh, my car's back in the parking lot. And then the lady posted a picture of me and her family on Facebook and tagged me. I don't know how she found me. And then I was like, I'm so sorry I had to leave. Let me Venmo you for part of the wine. And like then I started walking to my car and I was like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And then there was like something I don't even know about like homelessness and stuff. And then it was over.
And then it was over.
And welcome to my dreams.
You said you were going to start documenting them, so
I did. I wrote that one down.
nice.
I think. I usually
Well, I
text
mean,
them to Rebecca in the
it's
morning.
recorded now, so you got a record of it.
That's true. I recalled it a lot better today than I did yesterday. It was like 2 days ago. So, yeah. Anyway, oh, I should tell people please don't analyze this dream and don't be texting me about it. I take Cymbalta and it is known to cause crazy dreams. So the dreams are medicated. Okay? They do not mean anything. except for that we need to go to dinner.
It's like blah 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 blah. Your dream says blah 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 blah. Oh, but it was a medicated dream, so now it says blah 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 blah.
Right. Mhm. Okay. So, we're doing a
What would you do if?
Okay.
First.
I'm
What
ready.
would you do if you glazed a whole batch of commission mugs and only single dipped them instead of double dipping them, and the glaze was ugly as fuck?
I would just dip them again. I would
After you already
reglaze them.
reglaze them.
Yeah. I've done that actually.
How would you do that though? Like in a good way, when it's already been fired and everything.
You
What's the
get
best, especially if you got like a whole batch of commission mugs?
what I've done in the past is like I had it similar to like a cookie drying rack, like a cookie rack where it's a wire rack.
Mm-hmm.
And you just dip them in and let them dry on the wire rack and then dip them again.
So it's already got one layer of glaze, and you would still dip them twice because that
Yeah,
first
because
dip
the
is not really
first
gonna adhere
right,
that
you have
much.
to let it completely dry. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would also cry a little in my brain and
Yeah,
be like, "Fuck."
that would be
But
no bueno at all.
I only single dip everything that I have, so that wouldn't be an issue. But
If you just simplify it to say, what if you dipped something in a glaze and the glaze was ugly as fuck
just like,
because something
yeah,
was
it was like
wrong?
super thin.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
watery or
yeah.
something.
But that's definitely happened to me. Uh,
Yeah.
that is a real life scenario.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
The benefit to that is that it won't run extra much because the glaze the first glaze that you did was too thin. So that's nice.
Yeah.
What
What
would you
about the
do,
whole?
Ryan?
It would depend on how many it was and how much time I had to deliver them. Obviously, I would not want to have to remake them all, but
Yeah.
I would probably I'd do some experimenting. Like, would you only like reglaze one or two of them just to make sure that whatever you did technique wise for the
Nope.
reglaze worked, or would you just reglaze the whole thing, one shot, one opportunity,
You only got one shot. Do not.
seize everything you ever wanted,
Yeah.
one moment?
Yeah. No, you got to do the whole thing because you're fucked either way. So it doesn't really matter.
All right. So the moral of the story is lose yourself in the music the moment you want it, all that stuff. Oh.
Uh, um.
Yeah, I would not want to. I would probably do a test on one or two put them through glaze again. If something didn't quite work, you know, I doing the whole like warming it up thing. Maybe I would try that.
Yeah.
Like I might try your technique that you said, but
I really like Lindy's technique where she got the little
Oh yeah, the mug
mug
warmer thing.
warmer. That was really cool.
I mean, that would take for fucking ever, but
no, but not really. Probably like if you did it in a rhythm, you know.
yeah, it depends on how
Those
long
are
it
pretty.
takes to
Those can
warm it
be
up.
pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the
You oh
inside? Would you treat the inside any differently?
no, I wouldn't. I might glaze it. Like I would dip the whole thing in glaze first, but I wouldn't dip it the second time. I don't know.
You wouldn't put
I
more
think I
glaze
don't
on the
know.
inside. Yeah.
But also, I saw a trick somewhere that I never shared on here, and I probably should have. Somebody bought a fucking crock pot from the Goodwill and puts their water in it and turns it on low
They're
in the
throwing water.
winter. Yes,
That's a good idea.
it's a great idea.
How hot would that get on low?
Not very, but you could always just turn it off.
Hmm. It's not a bad idea. Depending on where you're at, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a what would you do if I think somebody sent that in, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would just reglaze it. But I will say this. If it was totally fucked, and the commission was due in a week, I'd just fucking bust him out. I'd bust him out. I'd just do the whole all-nighter situation. Or if it was somebody I was comfortable with and I knew that it wasn't like a timely matter, I'd probably email them and be like, yo, sorry.
Yeah, if it was somebody that I'm familiar with, it's not an event that you're delivering them for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go that route because, I mean, obviously you don't want to give them the worst news and say, hey, it all came out, but it looks not as good as I wanted. Or you try to like slide it by and say, here you go.
Yeah. I had a wholesale order of 46 mugs that was supposed to go to California, and every single one of the mugs had a glaze defect.
Fuck.
In the handle. So what was happening was that the handle was trapping in the air of my white glaze and it was like bubbling out, and if I didn't fill it in, it wouldn't melt down. And so there was always a hole into the handle. And so like just like a big pinhole. And
like right at the top of where the handle attaches to the mug?
There and at the base. Like at the base on the inside where it attaches, like the bottom of the ear. Or the bottom of the half heart.
Yeah.
But so I just messaged her and I was like, yo, I can send you these ones, but if you give me another week, I can reglaze them. And she was like, just reglaze them. We're not in that much of a hurry.
Yeah. Because I have certain glazes that will do that on handles, and I usually just avoid it. Because I habitually will have handle attachments that have, and I can see even little discolorations around that glaze.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's a little bit different.
Yeah. What I used to do, also,
I was thinking that was a bisque thing. Like maybe your job bisque firing's slow enough, but I would still get them. So
no, it's just that hard angle. You know, it's like a V, and it was like a hard angle, so the air was like popping up. But also with that note, okay, Marbs.
Marbs is like all up in my shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. On that note, I used to get those eyedroppers. Like you can get like a billion of them on Amazon for $5 or whatever. Like the little teardrop droppers.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to just dip that into the white and just dip it into the handle, like drop it into the handle, and that's how I got. That's how.
So
I
it actually
avoided
added a little bit of glaze inside where it's
inside.
joined.
So that's how I would avoid them. I would let it dry and then add it in. So,
gotcha.
If you're having that issue, that is one way to help
Okay.
Can I also just say that Mackenzie, my coworker, brought in her cat today to work because she's driving to, like, she forgot something at work and she's driving to Ohio and she takes her cats with her. And his name is Gus, named after Gus. And
Named after Gus Gus?
yeah, from Cinderella.
Oh,
And
didn't know who that was.
and he's
Big
the
surprise.
sweetest, snuggliest cat. Like, you can just tell that when you pick him up, he just like melts in your arms.
Oh,
And he's all black and he's so cute. He's such a gentleman. Anyway, moving on. Love it.
I'm actually looking for. I told
A
a
third
couple
cat.
people that not a third cat. We're not getting a third cat. Marvel's right here. You said that a second time. Marvel, don't hear that. Don't listen to that. We love you, Marvel. I'm looking to get somebody to illustrate Marble 2D, and then we're gonna make it a decal. And then I want to put decals on a few mugs with Marble on it. So there's a couple people that I was thinking of, and one person I already talked to a little bit, but
yeah.
So that's what I'm planning. We'll see. I was gonna reach out to Isaac for I was thinking color decal for sure, but
why? Marvel's like gray.
She's gray and she's got some orange.
Oh, I guess
and
you
some
have
white.
to have color decal for. Okay.
I mean, if Isaac was doing it, I would want a color, but
yeah,
one person I talked to does black and white, but I feel like it would lose some of the character.
Yeah.
If it's not colored. But
can you have the word Marbs under it? Oh, Marbs.
Maybe like Marbs on the bottom or something, or on the opposite side.
Yeah, or on the handle. Marbs.
Marbs. Should she be like upright, or should she be like laying down?
You should have both of you, and then like a caricature of you and then Marble on your shoulders.
I mean, I have a few pictures like that.
What if you just had your eyes up and like, not eyes.
Oh, like if I was the decal on the bottom of the mug and it was just me and then Marvel was on my head or something?
Yes! That would be so cute. You should do that.
I don't know. I don't really want me on it though.
Okay, fine. But
I feel like Marvel's the star of the show. I don't
think. Marvel needs to be, I think she should be sitting up, not laying down.
Yeah, just like up like a marble statue.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay. We got it.
Got it.
Look out for those people.
Oh, we should probably say this now that we're 36 minutes in, but we don't really have a full plan today. So lots of tangents. Lots of tangents are going to happen.
Why you got to tell them that?
Because that lady got mad at us that one time.
Was it a lady?
I don't know.
You're assuming it's a lady, Becca. What the hell?
I think it was a lady.
I don't know. It probably was. I mean, most of our listeners are probably female, so I don't know. All right. So what are we talking about, Becca?
We're talking about. Oh, let me find it. Okay. We have a few questions that we're gonna like kind of focus on, and then we'll yeah.
They're gonna be in the same realm, so.
Yeah, they're business focused. So the first one is from Howarth Hill. And it says, "Hey, Becca and Ryan, I have two questions for you. I did a few custom orders, in quotes, with, or not in parentheses, with logos for other small local companies. I am now getting a lot of inquiries on custom orders. Nothing big, 24 mugs or so, which is totally fine with me, and I price them so it works for me. My question is, what do you think about doing lots of custom orders for local businesses? Is it a bad idea? Does it make the product lose its charm? Along the same lines, how about having several wholesale consignment accounts in the same general area? I mean, of course, I want to sell as much as I can, but I'm worried about my pottery becoming too commonplace, or flooding the market too quickly, and like being old news. I see that pottery everywhere, like I see that pottery everywhere. Meh. Thanks for your thoughts, Howarth Hill.
I'm looking up Howarth Hill as we speak.
Ooh.
Howarth Hill, Maine. They're in Berwick, Maine. Let's see. That was going to influence a little bit of my answer to some of these, with whether it was a small town or it's kind of near Portsmouth, Maine. That's a bigger-ish city, right? Portsmouth.
I thought Howarth Hill was the account.
Howarth Hill is the account, but I'm saying that's where they're located based on.
Oh, I see.
Their account.
They're in Berwick.
Yeah. I don't know how big Portsmouth is the biggest city to them. I don't know how big that is, but it's around the edge of Maine. Portsmouth is in New Hampshire. Sorry. It's right on the border.
Oh, I like your mugs. They're cute. The rainbowish colors. You have great colors. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
that yellow.
Nice solid glazes.
That yellow is bomb. I want a yellow like that.
Okay,
anyway,
their account is howarthhill.maine.
How fancy dancy.
Yeah, I can see how their pieces would want to be wholesaled or whatnot.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so do we want to start at the top here? Custom orders for small businesses. Yeah, what do you think about doing lots of custom orders for small businesses? I think that's great. I mean, some people make their entire business of doing that. Like, wholesale orders for small businesses or for local businesses. I don't see anything wrong with that personally. Unless they're like right next door to each other or something like that. Like that might not be the best, but
I am totally sorry. I got a little distracted. Can you say that again? Custom orders for businesses.
Yeah, do you see anything wrong with it? Or,
no, absolutely
a
not.
lot of people make their entire business doing wholesale orders and custom orders and batch orders. Like,
I'm going to speak for Isaac Shu right now, but I think he has like 10 businesses in his tiny ass town that has his mugs with their business logos on it. Like,
yeah. I think you kind of overthink about it. You think, oh, I see those pieces everywhere. Like, get the fuck out of here. But like, usually I don't have I'm in Cincinnati area, so that it's a lot more dense. But people see
if it has
me
a
at multiple
logo,
outlets. Yeah.
Yeah. If it has a logo, it's different. And I think that that's the key. If you're worried about it being too like dense, you could make a simpler mug but your mugs are pretty simple, like not in a bad way at all, but they're pretty simple already, but you could make it like where the glaze is just basic white or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your custom logo mug, so it's a little bit different from your regular stuff. So it's like, oh, hey, here's my basic black pen. Like, I just sold my basic black pen to this company and to this company. The only difference is that they have logos. Like, but
Right.
hey, I also make this fancier black pen.
Yeah. You got like a big classic pen, and then you got like G2 pilot pen.
Exactly. So I think that that's a good way to look at it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we overestimate the amount of like what's the harm in people seeing it multiple places. I think that's a good thing for your business. They're like, what is that? Who made this? Hopefully business and branding wise, you can give those businesses that are taking your mugs some kind of card that you can put with the piece that says like handmade, local to here, here's who made it, here's it's dishwasher, microwave safe, stuff like that people can relate it back to you. Some places might be iffy about you putting like your website and stuff on there because they don't want them to have the ability to go around them to get it. But if you're selling
Mhm.
exclusive colors or logos and stuff on the mugs, then they have to go to them anyways. So I just had somebody last week or earlier this week write me an email and say, "Hey, I just got one of your mugs at the coffee shop up the street that you dropped off." And that was a wholesale order. I put the little inserts in there with my business information.
Right.
She emailed me and said like, "Hey, by the way, I really appreciate it. It was good to support two small businesses in one because they're a local shop." And then, they
Yeah.
realized I was local, and then they were just like, "Hey, is the mug, microwave, and dishwasher safe?" So
Yeah.
that was a nice little email, and I think,
Because apparently they can't read.
yeah, I think it said it on the thing, but nonetheless, I was still happy to answer their
Nonetheless.
email. And then I'll get people that see me at shows that are like, "Oh, do you sell at Indigenous?" And it seems like, how would they remember my stuff? Because there's like 150 artists in there, but somehow they remember my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I do sell there." And they were like, "Yeah, I got something like a while ago." And I'm like, "Sweet." That's the idea of like consignment and wholesale, and they can see you. They relate. I think the frequency thing
Mm-hmm.
helps your business for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Several people every year want to come directly for mugs I make for businesses. I'll just, I typically just say no. You'll just have to buy it from them. Oh yeah, I mean if you're doing mugs with
You
their
are reading
logo,
the wrong
I'm
question.
sorry, I'm fucked. There's another one that says logos. Sorry, I was, I'm
Okay.
thrown off. Sorry.
Along the same lines, how about having several wholesale consignment accounts in the same general area? This is important, I feel.
This is
Well,
a
I want to
zip
hear
code
your
thing,
thoughts.
right?
Yeah, this is
I
this
mean,
is
I'm
the
in
zip code
Cincinnati,
thing.
so my places, as long as they're not in the same neighborhood, I'm generally fine. I do have some that are within like maybe 5 miles of each other, but it's not the same neighborhood because there's so much density in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But obvious, there is one thing in Bellevue, like Codeco has some of my stuff, and I did wholesale some things to the place down the street, but I haven't
Yeah.
wholesaled with them in like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So usually what I would do is I would not sell the same types of pieces at the two places.
That's valid. Yeah.
So like planters at one, mugs and bowls and functional stuff at the other would be good. I would be a little iffy even if it was the same forms but different glaze combos or something. Like I want this exclusive glaze combo. I'd be a little iffy about that
Yeah.
just because
So
they're so close.
generally, from what I understand in the wholesale community, you have one store in each zip code, essentially.
That's as dense as you can get.
That's that's being nice. Like obviously you could have multiple stores in the same zip code,
That's like
but
the unwritten rule.
yeah, it's just like the what is it called when you're like,
Courtesy.
yes, the courtesy. It's a courtesy to have just one store in each zip code. So, um, like if you're in a tiny town, you just have one store. But I like your idea about selling different things at different stores. I think that's appropriate. You know, um, Especially if you're in a small town and everybody knows you. It's like, oh well, this store has fucking shot glasses and this store has mugs. Like, take your pick.
Yeah.
um I do like that. Shit. Why am I losing all my words?
You do like that.
Compromise. I like that compromise.
There you go.
Thanks. Um, I really love that all you can see right now is Marble's ears. Um,
Marble.
Marbs. Anyway, so yeah, but I typically one zip code a piece. If it's a huge town, like if you're in New York City, obviously
Yeah.
that doesn't super apply, but
We talked about that with Amanda Schwartz from Doghouse Pottery on episode 28, I believe. At the very end, we talk about the zip code exclusivity with
oh,
wholesale. Becca,
wow,
you knew that
fancy.
too, right? Episode 28.
Yeah, episode
Amanda? Yeah,
28, obviously, because I've listened to all of them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You edited all of them, you listened to all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at the very beginning, I did listen to all of them.
Yeah.
um,
I think that's good for that question. The second one's kind of related. It comes from Nathan Crawford Pottery. It says, I'm also wondering if you have any advice when approaching a local family-run company about selling small pieces at their store or business. Is there anything I should avoid doing? Whenever I approach a company about selling, I always ask, are you open to consignment or wholesale?
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one you would prefer. I personally, it depends on the personality of the company and whether they are fairly established. Like, do they already sell stuff? If they don't really sell much stuff at all that's like handcrafted or whatever, I would rather do a wholesale agreement, like get the money, get out. Because the consignments, like, you got to nurture it, you got to be back and forth with them, and you might fall off the radar a little bit, which I've had that experience with a shop that doesn't generally sell other handmade stuff, and I basically had to reach out to them like once a quarter and say, hey, did anything sell?
Yeah.
And like nothing really moved there, so I like took my stuff out over time. But that's the kind of thought process I would have about first, like, what kind of agreement do we want with them?
Yeah, you could take in a wholesale agreement, like contract. I have one if you want to email me. I've said this many times. I have it even saved in a specific place now. So that if you email me, I could just send it out to you. I probably won't say anything. You'll just get the thing, by the way. But also I think that
Where should they email you, by the way? If people are listening to this part right now and they want to email you, Five
you
Lines
can email
Pottery.
me or at Five Lines Pottery, or you could do the Wheel Talk podcast at Gmail.
All right, cool.
Either's fine. Um, I will say, however, I feel like the
I don't
part
know
where
what
it
they mean
says,
by small pieces too.
"Is there anything that I should avoid doing?" is like struggling in my brain because I'm like, I can tell you a lot of things that you should be doing. um, I don't think there's anything to avoid necessarily, but I do think that there's certain ways that you can approach small businesses and be more successful than other ways. I do think that like um if you want to do like small pieces, I recommend taking a sampling of those small pieces, like 20, you know,
Yeah.
or 40 if you can, like, a good sampling, because the likelihood of you walking in and saying, "Oh, I do pottery. Are you interested in this?" and them saying, "Yeah," and then never getting back to you ever again is strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you walk in with a box of pottery and it's like, "Hey, I sell pottery. This is my pottery. Would you be interested in buying any of it and selling it?" and you hand it to them and they touch it, the likelihood of them being like, "Yeah, let's take like 10 of these," is a lot better because it's an instant like contract,
Yeah.
And so there's
Would you recommend doing that at a certain time? I would say do it on off hours so you're not
yeah,
taking time away and business away from them to say, hey, can you spend your time right now to meet with me to talk about
yeah,
this?
or set up a time, like call them and say, "Hey, I'm wondering when the owner's there and when a good time to like come in and meet them is."
Yeah.
Um yeah,
I think I
that's
did that with the coffee shop I consign with or wholesale with now.
yeah.
I think I can't remember if I just talked to him through Instagram or I think they reached out to me through Instagram and said, hey, I'm interested in your work. Do you wholesale or
Right.
whatnot? And then I think they gave me an email because they were better communicating through email. But they made the initial contact. And I've even done that, like made the initial contact through Instagram and just
Mm.
said, hey, I'm a local potter and I make pieces that I think your customers would be interested in. Do you consign or wholesale? Just to make
Yeah.
that initial connection, not to expect that like all the business is going to happen through Instagram, but just to make that first connection. And then I did set up a time to meet. I met with the owner, talked about it. I think I talked about this before, but I took a big box of mugs, like 30 mugs, and then a bunch of shot glasses with the different colors so they can see the different color options, and then the mug options, like style wise and the prices. So they know what they would be retailing, if it fits with their customers, what look they're going for. And then we kind of went from there. And then they made an initial order. I told them my minimums and all that when I got home, because I like summarized everything that we talked about in person, sent it through email so it was documented on paper or email. And then we went from there. So I think they definitely appreciate the being conscious of their time. So if you can plan ahead and not like just show up, I would appreciate that. If I was just working something, like, you don't know what kind of mindset they're in or if they're busy or something.
Right, exactly.
You know, they blew a tire on the way to work and they just got in and you're coming in at the same time. It's like, you don't know what kind of.
Yeah, like call ahead, ask to meet, you know. Yeah. I was just thinking about how this coffee shop in Washington had me. You remember those teapot pour overs? Oh God! Oh.
Well, did they request that, or was that?
Yes, they requested those.
Okay, that was the only thing they requested, or you were already selling some things, and then they were like, "Oh, by the way, can you try this teapot pour over set?"
I think it was the only thing they requested, if I recall. It may have been. I might have done mugs too, but oof.
Were they expecting to wholesale those?
Yeah, they were expensive too. I was like, shit, fuck. Like,
did you end up doing it?
I made like 10. They were hard.
I bet they were hard. Did you get the price that you wanted from them wholesale?
I think so. I think they ended up selling them like. I mean, not now. Back then, I was happy with the price, but I wouldn't be now.
Right.
But yeah, ooh, fuck that shit, man.
I mean, I'm guessing you probably wholesale them for less than $60, didn't you?
Oh, for sure.
God. Oh, hearing you talk about your plate wholesales in the past, I'm like, she probably wholesaled those damn picture things for like $30 or something.
I totally did.
Oh my God.
I think it was 35.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking like she probably should have wholesaled them for like 60 and she lowballed that. All right, there's no way Becca wholesaled these for 60. All right, let's go. Half of that? 30? God.
Oh, it's like my fucking platter. Ugh.
Jeez.
I was talking to sidebar. I was talking to Andrew today about my plates because I'm doing the shitty planters and now I need to make shitty plates. So I'm not gonna glaze them. They're just gonna be bare clay. And we talked about prices today and he was like, $7 sounds good for like a 4-inch plate. And I was like, I could do that. Like, just like shitty hand built.
4 inches is the right size for those? I thought the planters seem bigger than that. Are they not?
Oh, 4 inches would be plenty for mine. But no, like, okay.
Wait. Didn't you make some different sizes?
Yeah, I did, but most of them would fit in a 4-inch anyway. Okay. But he was like, $7 for a 4-inch plate sounds good. And I was like, yeah, and then we could do 5 for 2-inch and 10 for 6-inch. And like,
no. I can sell a fucking spoon rest that's 5 inches wide for $15. You're selling a 4-inch one for $7?
They're not even glazed, Ryan.
So what? I sell a saucer for my planters that are about 4 inches that are unglazed. They're fired all the way for $12.
They're shitty. Let it be. Let it be. Let
I mean,
it
ideally,
be.
hopefully you sell the planters and not many of the saucers. So you're like, it's whatever, you know?
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what the prices come out to be. But anyway, I was talking to him and he was like, "Didn't you fucking charge me $2?"
$2? You charge them $2 for a 4-inch plate?
No, they were the 2-inch ones, and I charged them my fucking wholesale price.
$2 for a 2-inch plate?
Fucking wholesale price for a 2-inch plate was $2. fuck? $15 for a 12-inch plate.
Oh, not $1 an inch with the plate.
$1 an inch. $3 for inflation. Oh god.
$3 just because you're like.
They totally were $1 an inch. My 4-inch plates was $4. My 6-inch plates were $6.
My God.
I cannot even believe. I can't even. And you know what? I was fucking making money too. That's the crazy part, is that I was paying bills. Wow. Wow.
Is it cause you weren't even like using reclaim for that shit? You were like using fresh.
Straight out of the bag.
Oh my God.
No, it took me. Remember, I timed it that one time. It took me 20 minutes to make 50 plates. Maybe?
But how much profit are you making on a $2 plate?
I did the math. It was
like 10 cents?
No, it was like $1.20.
With all the time you spend in and out of the kiln, and you're not glazing them, but you're right. Not glazed.
Those ones I did glaze.
Oh
they
my
were fast.
gosh.
They were fast though.
Fast. And how much glaze are you using? And I'm sure you wiped them, right?
No,
I mean, you gotta add up the time. It's gotta be
I would pour the glaze piece, right? And then I'd pour the glaze. There was no wiping involved. Where I really lost money was the kiln shelf.
There's no way you made $1.20 on that.
I don't fucking know. I don't even fucking know. I don't fucking know. Ryan.
What about the kiln shelves?
The space in the kiln shelves. That's where I lost money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, avoid doing that. Oh.
Okay. We'll see how this 4-inch plate, $7. Hey, you're doubling your. You're not even doubling if you're considering the $4 wholesale.
No, because if I sold those wholesale, I'd sell them for $7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're just
the
selling
way.
Them retail for $7?
Yeah, that's the way I'm doing it with all of the shitty cups. If I'm gonna do wholesale, they're gonna be the retail price. A shitty cup,
okay.
$15.
You're just pricing it low enough that you're happy.
Yeah.
Getting a wholesale price for it, which is just so enticing to just buy it.
Right.
Retail.
So like I'm basically selling wholesale to retail customers. I'm basically Costco. I'm the Costco of pottery.
I mean, you already got their bins and shit.
I do.
Fucking pepper box bin and.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Oh gosh.
Oh, fun times. Great oldies. Cool 105 Denver.
Do you want to read that last question? We did answer that question.
Okay.
Anything you would avoid doing? I mean,
don't sell your pottery like Becca.
Wholesale your pottery like Becca.
Okay.
I would. One other thing I would say probably don't do is don't commit on the spot if you're not sure.
Yeah,
definitely think that over, and I would suggest getting something in writing instead of just doing
money up front.
Verbal stuff.
Yeah.
Money up front for the whole thing, or like
if you're doing wholesale, make sure you at least get you should be getting money up front for wholesale. Or if they're like not comfortable the first time, you can do half up, half down. Like
half up and then net 30 for the rest.
Yeah, like you can do that. I like to at least establish a relationship first before you let them pay later. And if you do let them pay later, that's when you definitely need a contract, because if they're doing net 30 always gets kind of like forgotten.
Loosey-goosey, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty loosey-goosey. So, I would say, say, hey, since this is our first transaction, if we could do at least 50% up, preferably 100, that would be great. And then we can talk about terms afterwards once we get our first transaction done. So.
And the wholesale, the contract part of it, that's on you to propose and
provide.
to bring.
Oh, also you need their reseller's permit. So don't forget that. Their tax permit.
Which is, what is that?
What?
What is a reseller's permit?
Oh, a reseller's permit is the permit that you have and any person who sells has to resell the items that you buy. So basically, when you're reselling items, the idea is that you don't need to be taxed twice, 3 times, 4 times. So like, let's say you're a pen business and you put we're just going with pens today. You put logos on pens and you're buying pens. That doesn't work.
No, that doesn't work. Why don't you just use pottery, because we're using and schlepping pottery here.
Well, it kind of doesn't work it does work anyway. Okay. So let's say you make pottery. Okay. You make pottery. Now, when you go to the pottery supply store and you buy clay, if you have a reseller's permit, you would give that reseller's permit to the clay store, and the clay store will say, oh, great, you're going to resell this pottery, so I don't need to charge you tax on this clay that I'm selling to you. The reason being is we don't need to pay tax on that twice. So
because you're paying the sales tax as if you're taking the clay and you're doing nothing with it, but you're going to take the clay, you're going to make something with it, and then you're going to sell that made thing to an end
your
user,
customer,
and they're going to pay the sales tax.
They will pay the sales tax on the item that you had. Now, the clay supply company, they didn't pay sales tax on that either. Like when they bought the supplies for the clay, they didn't pay sales tax on those supplies, assuming that they would pass it on to another customer and they would pass it on to another customer. So that's what a reseller's permit is doing. It's basically allowing you not to have to pay tax twice, 3 times, 4 times,
yeah.
Sales tax twice, 3 times, 4 times as you pass it along.
So you're just going one more level further with a wholesaler that, hey, I'm not the end person collecting the sales tax when my piece sells to the coffee shop. Yeah. The coffee shop is responsible for collecting the sales tax when they sell it retail. Right. So that's what the permit is for.
And the permit is basically a legal contract saying that you will be doing, you will be selling it. So keep that in mind. Like they'll collect your sales permit and then you'll collect whoever's selling your stuff, that permit. And so
if there's any questions about where
like
was the tax
if
collected?
you get audited or anything like that, then you have it and you're like, that's why I didn't collect sales tax on the items that I sold to them.
Because you still mark it as income because you sold it to somebody, but if they're like, hey, you got this income, did you pay the sales tax on it? I'd be like, no. Well, because they gave me their permit, they're responsible for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And technically, actually, sometimes you can even get a pass on manufacturing equipment when you like buy manufacturing. So ask about that if you ever buy a kiln or any large equipment. Like a pug mill.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay sales tax on my pug mill. And the person that I sold it to didn't have to pay it either because I had them sign the manufacturing clause. So keep that in mind.
I probably should have did that when I just ordered clay, actually. I don't know. Well, I normally order clay from Queen City Clay, they already know that. We already have that agreement, but I ordered from Mudworks this time online and I did not do that. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that online. Probably should have had to call to do it.
Yeah, and also remember that every state is different. So like Indiana just has a tax permit. You don't even need a fucking business license in this state. Washington, you would need a reseller's permit and a business license, to run a business. And so every state has a different type of reseller's permit tax license that they do. So you're going to have to do your own research or ask an accountant that's local to you.
I think Ohio had something different. I think yeah, and, Queen City Clay was wanting one, and I was like, okay, I'm technically an Ohio vendor, and it was associated with that.
Yeah, and like some states like Montana doesn't even have sales tax, so like I don't even know what the fuck they do. So like Montana and Oregon, I mean I've never lived in either of those states, so I don't know how they operate those. But yeah, keep that in mind, and you have to do your own research. We're not telling you exactly how it is. We can just explain what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to read this one from Mudslinging?
Yes. I have several people that purchase something from me almost every single update. What do you think is an appropriate thank you gift? I try and add a little something here and there if I have something on hand. If I don't have anything to gift them, then I usually give them free or discounted shipping. I'm wondering what everyone else is doing in this situation.
What is Becca doing in this situation?
Absolutely nothing. I know sometimes I do. Sometimes if somebody buys like three pieces or whatever, I'll throw a shitty cup in. But I do not think it should be expected. I do not think it should be a given. And it is not up to you to thank them for purchasing your pieces because that is how the world works.
That's how the transaction works.
That's how the transaction works. I don't think they're expecting anything. Now, if you want to give a gift as a thank you, that's totally fine. Obviously, it's completely fine. But you don't have to.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even put my fucking card in there.
So Jody mentioned if I don't have anything, she usually gives them free or discounted shipping. I would personally not do that.
Yeah.
Because they've already paid for it. Like, you'd have to probably refund them money back anyways. It just gets a little iffy with that. I would rather not take money and then refund them money. I would rather give them something. But if you don't have anything, I don't think it's really that bad to not put anything in there. But I mean, generally what I do with anybody is if they get a mug, I put a couple bags of tea in there. I feel like that's simple.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that reoccurring like comes back, maybe I'll throw like a shot glass in there, but I don't generally do that.
Yeah, or even some candy or something. I think that we underestimate the little things too. Like if you wanted to put some candy in, I know that people would be like, "Oh, fun. Hershey's Kisses" or whatever, you know. But I
What about having like what if you just have a personal stack of like thank you cards that you only give to certain people?
yeah.
Maybe that would be good. Like
Or
like Liz gave me this personalized card. It was just for a mug trade, but she gave me these like cat-shaped cards and she like
yeah.
hand wrote the note on a cat-shaped card. Like that was
Yeah.
personalized to me. And
Or you could
felt special.
or you could send them a discount coupon, like a coupon for the next time they purchase.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something too. You know, like who knows if they'll, but I think that we have to remember that the reason that they are buying from you so frequently is because they love your pottery or they love you. I don't think they're expecting anything extra.
Yeah.
And like
And
that's
I
not
don't
to
think
say that you
they
shouldn't.
generally don't want it.
Yeah.
A lot
That's
of
not
people
to
don't want that.
yeah. That's not to say that you shouldn't like feel grateful and if you want to add something in, that's fine. But definitely like I had one lady buy 4 fancy cups from me and I threw in like an extra shitty cup. Like I totally get it. I'll just throw it in and I won't say anything. But
Mm-hmm.
but also don't
Did you write her a handwritten note or did you just
absolutely
ship it
not.
like normal? No.
But also don't feel pressured. I think that's the biggest thing. Don't feel pressured into it.
Yeah. Do you put the pressure on yourself because you have built that expectation because you have sent things to people that have bought from you frequently that you put that on yourself? Like
You're asking me?
what if you just stop doing that? Like I'm asking it as if Jody's thinking through
Oh,
this. Like Jody has already sent things over time. Does she have
yeah.
that pressure on herself now that the past purchases with customers that frequently buy have gotten things?
Mm.
and she's
Like, are
now
you
kind of
stuck
put
between a rock and a hard place?
like she's now put that
Yeah.
kind of set the tone already. But
Right.
I mean, I think people generally understand, like, even if you're growing as a business and you're selling more pieces and you're shipping out more things, I think people generally understand if you can't put the level of like perfection
Attention to
that you
detail.
did
Yeah.
like 2 years prior because of just the volume that you have to do. But I think they can also like appreciate the extra step if you were, even if it's just writing a handwritten note,
Yeah.
like even if it's simple.
Yeah, I think, and we underestimate words too, you know? Like if you say, "Hey, I notice your name frequently and I just want to tell you how grateful I am." Um
Yeah.
and how much it means to me that you purchased from me. That is so much, you know? That's
Yeah.
worth like 2 cups. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
people
because it
love
took
that.
time to actually to write that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
my yeah, my
I would say definitely I would nix the if it was I, and I think Ryan also agrees with this, nix the whole slashing of shipping and less shipping, because
that's
the
not going to
US
be noticed
government
as much.
hates us already. Like we have to pay them.
And
And
like people understand that they've got to pay for shipping. I mean,
yeah,
it's different if you used to do free shipping and now you're charging shipping and then they're
yeah,
like, "Oh, well, I don't get that anymore." But I think people understand, like I feel
yeah.
bad when somebody buys something from me like 2 weeks prior and then I do a shop update or something and they buy again. I'm like, "Oh man, I wish you wouldn't have bought it 2 weeks apart. Like I could have shipped them together." But you know,
Oh yeah, that lady that bought 4 of the she's listening, I know. Uh she bought 4 of the cups and she like thought that she bought 2, and then she got the one and she was like, "Oh no, I thought I bought 2." So then she bought another one, and so I shipped that one, and then she got those ones and she was like, "I want 2 more." And so then she bought 2
oh my
more.
god.
So I did
And then
3
you're like,
shipments.
gosh, I just gave the USPS like, $30. I could have given them 10.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm personally okay with shipping separately because that means the cups aren't going to break. But
Right.
it was fine. It was just kind of hilarious
Yeah.
how it all happened. But yeah, I think that yeah, I think you, well, I know, Jody, that you are a very kind human being.
Yeah.
And we know
She's so
this.
sweet.
Yeah. So I think that yeah, maybe a few boundaries, maybe more candy instead of more
Yeah,
you
all you got to
know,
do is just get a mixed bag of candy, like sit it by your packing stuff, and
like the
occasionally
good
you'll
stuff,
put a
like
few things in there.
send them Laffy Taffies, like, like the good shit, right? Like, or
Something that's
Reese's.
not gonna like ruin and melt or
Put
you
it
know.
in a plastic bag. Don't be,
Oh, that's
yeah,
a good idea.
put it in a little plastic bag. But yeah, I think that that's probably what I would do if I was in your situation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention before we finish this one. So the the things that I do, the minuscule differences in my shipments. So every single time I say I do a handwritten note, right? I always write the same thing on everybody that has never bought before. It always says, "Thanks so much for your support. Stay safe and healthy," with my name. And I write their first name at the top. So it is semi-personalized, right? It's got their first name. And then if they have bought from me before, which Etsy does a little like star, so it shows that it's a repeat buyer, I'll still put their first name and I'll say, "Thank you so much for your continued support." So it's like, "Hey, you've already bought from me. Stay safe and healthy." And then if it's somebody that's bought a lot, I will handwrite them a note and say, like, "Thank you so much. I hope this fits well in your collection. I know you've, bought a lot from me over the years. Thank you so much." Um, and
You
it's
should
just a
start printing
little
those out.
what?
You should start printing them out, like do a copy of you writing it in hand.
Why?
I did that and everybody thought that I hand wrote them.
The one on your postcards.
Yeah, the ones on the postcards, everybody
But what
thought
do
that I
they
hand
do when they bought it like 3 times?
I don't know. I think they still
They're
thought that I
exactly the
hand wrote it.
same.
That was fucking genius, honestly. Um
And then the only other thing is, it's kind of like a side thing, but if there's somebody that buys from you that you kind of like remember what sort of things they buy, like there's a customer that buys a lot of the same color combo, and I made a couple samples of a new thing, like a soup bowl that had a bowl with a handle. I never make
Mm,
them, and it was a custom piece that I made for somebody, and it was in that glaze that they liked. So I reached out to them directly and said, "Hey, by the way, I just made this as a custom for somebody. It was extra.
mm,
Do you want a chance at buying this? Because I know that you love this glaze combo." And they felt that like personalized thing. And I put it on the shop. They bought it. They loved it, you know. So it was
yeah.
like I was thinking about them when that
Yeah,
piece came out.
that's
And
smart.
it was just an extra thing. Like I'd
Just
rather
like
somebody
reaching
that
out.
repeat buys for me that,
Yeah.
I know they're gonna appreciate this.
Showing that you notice them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right. There's one other question that I added in here because it was related. Because I
From
accidentally
Bearded
started reading
Pottery.
it. Yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. By the way, he's in Winter Park, Colorado. Um, I had somebody buy a mug I made for a local coffee shop. It has their logo on it. Well, they broke it and want a new one, so they contacted me. Is it unethical to just make one and sell it to them directly for full price versus somehow giving the coffee shop their cut? This time the people live out of state, so I don't really feel bad about it, but I have had several people every year who want to come to me directly for mugs I make for businesses with their logo on it, and I just typically say no, you'll just have to buy it from them because I don't want to piss off the wholesale client and make them feel like I'm somehow using their logo to make money. Even though it's made by me completely, and I feel that they are more interested in a craftsmanship design glaze of that mug than the branding of the business.
Ooh, interesting. That's a good one.
This is a conundrum, isn't it? I know
Oh,
my answer, but
the one for the person outside, if it's just a one-off and they're like outside of the state and stuff, I would not feel terrible about
oh yeah,
replacing
no,
it.
absolutely not.
But the whole thing with people directly contacting you, I would not put their logo on it and sell it directly to the person. I would say if it includes their logo, maybe I would reach out to the company and say, "Hey, I've got some customers that are reaching out. Would you like to buy more because I think there's demand for it?" And
Yeah.
that would just build your wholesale business. I don't think you want to do anything to disrupt that wholesale client if you like them and they're good to you. I just say I would just say, "Hey, I've got some people reach out. I think you could benefit from having another shipment if you're open to it, and I can direct them to you."
Mhm.
Yeah, the whole putting their logo on it. The comment about, um, even though it's made by me completely, and I feel like they're more interested in the craftsmanship design glaze of the mug than the branding. I would say if that's the case, then don't put their branding on it and sell them the mug without the branding.
I feel like we're starting to think very much alike, and I'm not okay with this. Um,
But isn't that like the best reasoning for why you would not want to put it on there? Like,
no, yes, for real. Like I thought the exact same thing. Like when you brought that up. Like if I think that it's completely appropriate to be like, hey, I can make a mug that doesn't have the logo on it. Would you like that instead? I think that is completely ethical. I would have a really hard time making a mug with somebody else's logo for two reasons. I feel like my mom right now. For two reasons. One of them, I'm fucking lazy and I don't want to make that logo again. Like I don't want to like
it's
go through
probably like
this.
a it's probably like a decal or something, but
Yeah,
maybe
like
it's
I don't
not.
want to go through the steps and like the process of like filling in the logo and like doing all the designs and stuff like that
Hmm.
when I could literally be like they have it in stock. And if they don't have it in stock, I think your solution is an extremely good solution for that. But and the second reason is, yeah, like you've made a contract, whether it be written or verbal or whatever, with that client.
Yeah.
And
What happens? What happens if they take the mug into the store? Like, what they go to their coffee shop and they say, "Can you fill this up?" And it's your mug. and they know that they haven't had your mugs in stock, and maybe they know
Yeah.
everybody they've sold it to, or they've only had 6 or something, or they don't use that same glaze combo, and they
Yeah.
come in with a custom mug with your logo, like with their logo on it. I mean, there's a slim chance they would notice, but like, what do you want to happen in that situation?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna ask the customer, "Where'd you get that mug?"
Yeah, I mean, like, you can always ask the company. Like, I know for sure, um, one company in Washington, if I went up to Steve and was like, "Yo, Steve, somebody wants this mug, uh, of last year's logo," he'd be like, I don't fucking care. Sell it." Like, like some people might not mind, but you need to talk to them about it. And
Some of them
yeah,
say
so
it's kind of like a finder's fee. Like, if you were to do that,
yeah,
you would need to pay them their cut. So you could still sell it, but you'd get the wholesale price for it because you'd
right.
still need to give them.
Yeah, and I know that's exactly your question, but I guess that we are just a little bit too honest and to like let that one slide. But
I
like
just
I
don't
s-
want to mess up the wholesale client. Like, if
yeah.
it's a good wholesale client and you get the continuous thing, like, I love the wholesale orders because it's pretty hands off. And if
Yeah,
you got a
and
good
if your
thing going,
business
then
is mostly wholesale, which his is, um that is bad news travels a lot faster than good news. So keep that in mind if you're like dealing with that, I usually I would say like if you think it might have like an unethical cut to it, like, what did you say in here? Is it unethical to just make one? If you're asking if it's unethical, it's unethical. Like, um, well, I mean, like I said that kind of bluntly, but like also, like the it's you would rather err on the side of caution than
yeah.
the side,
Is are those like 3 mugs that you would sell, for instance, to the people that want them with the logo? Is that money that you're going to make, the 2 times the price that you would make on a wholesale of that, worth you not getting more wholesale orders from them in the future?
if they found out and if they weren't okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? It's like you don't know if they're okay with it or if they're not. And they could be totally fine with it. But if you don't know, I don't think you should chance it.
Or
But
talk to him about it
it's
first.
your business. But I also will say, you know, you live in a small town. Like, I know where you live and it's not big. So, like, you know, is Mary going to find out at the, like at the Booster Club meeting on Friday?
Yeah.
But
Because you
yeah,
don't know. Maybe they, yeah. I mean, if they got logos on them, I feel like it's not uncommon for them to bring that thing into the shop,
who
like the
knows?
coffee shop
Do
with the
I think
logo
it's a
on it.
huge deal? No. That's also something like I don't think it's a big deal, but I do
Mhm.
think it wouldn't be something I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. Fun stuff.
That was a good one.
I did like that one. I think I responded to you in person on that one because I remember reading this logo like that. But maybe I
Yeah.
wonder if I said the exact same thing or not.
I don't know. You've been pretty good about answering these questions like immediately when people ask them. And I do not. I just say added to the list. I mean, I kind of want them to have to listen, to like keep listening to hear it,
Yeah,
but
well,
I
I
kind
have
of just
to
don't want to think about it in the moment and answer through text.
pull my weight in this relationship a little bit, and that is how I do it.
All right.
So, like
And
if
you're very shortened to the point through text and email and stuff. So like you're
yeah,
not gonna overthink it and tell
yeah,
them what you would need to say in a podcast recording that
yeah.
would actually take 10 minutes to say.
Also, I think it should be said too, if you do send us a question and it is time sensitive, you should tell us. Like say, I really have this question and I'm wondering if you could answer it now. Um, but then also answer it on the podcast. That would be helpful. Um,
That would be.
I'm I'm probably always going to answer them if I can, but that would be helpful because we don't want to leave anybody like high and dry, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, the questions are definitely, for you to have a direct answer, but also like the reasons we pick certain questions is because we think they will be relative for other people that they are not even thinking about, or they haven't even come in contact with. But
yeah,
it's some other things they got to think about with wholesale, because these kind of situations could happen to you. And now you have a little sampling of what somebody else has done and what has gone through their mind when they've thought about it.
Yeah.
But
we only have, speaking of questions, we only have 4 more questions. So if anybody is, just like sitting in their studio and being like, oh, I have this question, wipe your hands off of clay and like send us a text.
And if we've answered it before, we will likely tell you, or I will tell you the episode that it was on.
Yeah, I won't.
And we'll refer you to that. Or maybe we did an entire episode about it rather than just answered a little question about it. So
yeah. But yeah, that was a good last question.
Yeah.
We were gonna have a short episode today.
Yeah, it actually, you said short. We kind of have it short.
It's like 1.5
30 minutes short. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did we want? We wanted some reviews from people, because we're definitely running short on those. I think our last review was at the end of January.
Yeah, it helps us a lot if you review us on like Apple Podcasts. I don't know how it helps us, but I think it does.
We assume it helps. I don't really know, but I think they're mostly just for the giggles.
Yeah, we assume
and making us smile, and you get to hear them on the podcast. So
yeah, that's always fun. And you know what's crazy is that we've been doing this for almost 3 years.
I mean, not really, like 2.5, but okay.
Yeah, but in August it'll be 3 years.
I know, but that's what I meant, like 2.5.
Yeah, but that's only
that's 5 months away, Becca.
4 months.
All right, whatever.
I
4 is closer to
4.5.
6 then.
No, but I was just thinking about it, and like, how the fuck have we gotten we've gotten some topic every single week for 2.5 years? Like, that's pretty impressive. Like, we don't even have, like, we only have like 10 guests a year. How the fuck did we come up with this much shit to talk about? Like, woof.
Like, imagine if we didn't have these segments of like listener questions. If we had no questions, if we were just shut off the questions. No way.
If we did that, we wouldn't have a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
right?
to all of you out there. That's right.
Right,
Charles is like, burp. Burp. I agree. Burp.
I wonder if my new mic picks up Charles.
I don't know, but you know what I've noticed? Your mic sounds better than mine. Way better than mine.
No shit. That's because it is better than yours.
I could hear the background in the last one that I listened to, and I could hear my fan. And it sounds perfect every time I mute to drink my water, because yours is just like pristine. And mine
this is a good fucking mic.
I might just end up buying it.
Yeah. Well, we
if we don't win it.
Yeah, if we don't win those new mics, we'll get you a new one of these ones. And then we'll go to dinner first, and then we'll see how much money we have left for the mic.
Hey, maybe we'll have a up and coming podcaster that wants to buy a Blue Yeti, and we're just passing the torch.
Passing the buck. Yeah, no, honestly, I really like the
buck. That's not the right term.
It is
passing the buck?
I'm going to Google it.
That's like, hey, I've got a task for me to do, and you don't want to do it, so you pass the buck. You give it to somebody else to do the task because you don't want to do it.
Buck passing, or passing the buck, or sometimes playing the blame game, is the act of attributing to another person or groups one's own responsibility. Ha.
That is not what we're talking about, though. What does giving a microphone down? It's like a hand-me-down. What does that got to do with passing responsibility? you see what I'm saying? Like a task gets assigned to you. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, but
So
you were just
pass
saying
the
that
buck.
passing the buck doesn't, like, you were just saying that that's not a thing, and it fucking is a
No,
thing.
I wasn't saying that's not the thing. I'm saying that's not what we're talking about for what we're
Oh.
trying to do. I'm saying pass the torch. I said pass the torch, and you said pass the buck. I'm like, that's not the right thing. Welcome to Vocabulary with Ryan and Becca. Your weekly
Clearly, I'm failing. I've actually been horrible with vocabulary my whole life, and I just make up words. If you haven't been listening for 2.5 years, like, you don't know this, but if you have, you do know this.
I mean, I'm just like pulling the words out of your brain that are missing today.
I just make up words. Today, Rebecca. This is a fun little trick that's not related to pottery at all. So Rebecca is on this AIP diet where it's like really limited.
Yeah, I
But
didn't know what that does. That stand for something specific?
Something. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
it's not like certain foods. Like A is this like
No. So autoimmune protocol diet. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
So it's for autoimmune disease, which I should probably be on it, but I'm not fucking going on it. So anyway, a long time ago, somebody gave me a recipe or taught me how to make flatbread. And all you do is you boil a sweet potato and then you add in flour until it's like a dough-like consistency. And then you just roll it out and then fry it up. And it makes like the best flatbread. And it's like super simple. It's just sweet potato and flour. That's it. And you can do it with squash too. And so Rebecca's been like really trying to do flatbreads recently. And so I told her that, and she did it with cassava flour. And then she goes on the text, she goes, and I added baking soda to the flour for a little poof. And I was like, you mean powder? Because
baking
soda is
powder?
salt. And she was like, oh yeah, I just didn't have the right word. And I'm like, you kind of scared me for a second because soda would be terrible in that. Anyway,
Not like harmful, but it just wouldn't taste good.
it would taste terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her posting some flatbreads yesterday, maybe.
Yeah. She texted me and told me I was a magical genius for giving her that recipe. So
Nice.
it is very good. If you want a easy, quick, simple flatbread. Woof. So good.
I mean, I envy people that can deal with cooking and stuff. Like seeing you and seeing Kurt making these foods and seeing Rebecca, like I see whenever I see people like I made this, do you want to see the recipe? I'm like, no, I don't want to see the recipe. I'm never gonna fucking do that.
No.
When you show me a screenshot of a recipe, I'm like, no, next. That's just not me. I don't know.
Is it a Totino's pizza that I can tear?
Cardboard pizza tonight? Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, I love Totino's.
Oh,
Bless.
I am gonna dig into the pretzel recipe though. I will dig that out of the box.
Oh, I brought bagels into everybody today at work, and they said they were my best ones yet. They're still not real bagels, and they were square, and they didn't have holes. But
What's the reason for having holes in bagels? I see you making them without the holes, and I'm like,
that
really?
makes sense, right?
What's the reason? Why do you need a
Yeah.
hole? Is it just so that it's evenly cooked? Because the middle is doughier if there's not a hole?
Nope, it's not doughier. What's the reason for the hole in the bagel? The hole in the bagel, middle of the bagel, allows it to have a larger surface area, making it easier to consistently
what I
cook
just
the
said.
bagel all the way through. This is important because bagel dough can be incredibly thick, which would make it difficult to know if the center was cooked completely. See, I'm probably not cooking correct bagels, but they're delicious. So like,
Because they don't have a hole is what you're saying is why you're not cooking them
no,
correct?
because my
Or
bagels are too soft.
the way you're making them is not right.
Yeah, they're too like wet. I'm not putting enough like flour in them. So Oh, also, here's the reason. Here's what I think. I think that this is actually the reason. I think it has nothing to do with baking. I think that they did the hole in the middle because they used to like put them on
dowel rods?
Yeah, or like strings to sell them like back in the olden days. I think that's why there's a hole.
How did they get them off the string though?
You know what? We don't ask those types of questions. We
I mean, they're not ripping those things off the string. You're not just taking the scissors to the bagel and just be like, all right, let's get it off the string.
No, but maybe there was like a little carabiner on the end of the string or something.
You know what we went to one time was a wedding, and they had a donut bar.
Did they have the donuts on the string?
They had donuts on dowel rods.
See that?
And there was like, I think it was actually a second wedding we went to, and there was donuts on a tree that was dowel rod trees. It was like a vertical pillar, and then there was wooden dowel rods sticking off of it with different donuts on it. Looking delicious.
It says it's not just about history, it's practical.
Why though?
The whole estate in bagels for centuries. Anyone who has ever tried to make their own bagels knows that the dough is very, very thick and very heavy. I'm really just doing bagels wrong. And that makes it difficult to cook all the way through, and the hole actually adds more surface area to help. Blah, blah, blah.
So maybe you should just try putting a big hole in the middle and seeing if they improve.
No, I've done the hole. It's not I've like put a hole in my bagels too. I just figured it like meh. I just don't sure. Like what is frustrating when you're putting cream cheese on a bagel and you put it in the hole and then you put cream cheese all over the bagel and then you eat it, and then in the middle of the bagel all you get is a cream cheese. And I like cream cheese.
I do not like that.
No, thank you. I like cream cheese. I just don't like that there's only cream cheese. And
I eat all of my lunch sandwiches on everything bagels. And I don't like having the bit of spicy mayo in the middle, and it like seeps out and stuff.
I know. Did I ever tell you that spicy mayo is legit delicious on grilled cheese?
No, but it sounds like it would be.
Spicy mayo and garlic. She says that well into the 1970s, bakers in New York City would thread their bagels onto ropes in order to deliver them to delis and markets around the city. You know, the days before strict rules and regulations when it came to food packaging and handling.
You know what they used to do? You know those things that are on trucks to like make sure they're not going to hit the overpass? They would just stick bagels on those poles and deliver them like that. They'd like disconnect the pole and they'll like be like, here's your bagels.
Here's your bagels. I really need to like... The reason that I don't have really good bagels is because my hands are so much pain right now that I refuse to take it out of the mixer. Like, you're supposed to knead it on the counter and like add in a ton of flour until it's like really dense.
Because you can't just put flour into the mixer, the dough hook.
It doesn't work the same way, I don't think. I think that it would separate. And so yeah, so my hands are like really sore right now, so yeah. That's why. Okay. But I'll try it one time by kneading them in, you know.
You know another, I don't know if I told you that before, but do you know another spicy mayo that goes good with something that's not grilled cheese?
What?
Is to make a breakfast tater tot bowl. So you do tater tots, and then you put scrambled eggs, crumple up bacon, and then you put some spicy mayo on top.
Yes, that sounds delicious. If you put avocado on that too,
we did the tater tot discs.
Oh yeah. The crowns.
Good. Yeah, they were.
The potato olays.
They were great. We've done that a few times.
You should always also put a little cayenne pepper on your tater tots. That's it. That's the money.
Cayenne pepper.
Just a sprinkle.
Okay. I was thinking a little Cajun, but
Cajun would be good too.
Cajun and spicy.
Slap your mamas. Some slap your mamas on the on the tots. Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
That would be good.
Yep.
Yum. All right.
Okay.
Do we have anything else?
No.
Hey, we got an extra 15 minutes out of that.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Got a little bonus on the end there, people.
You got a little bagel history.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Bye. Here's our outro. I fucking love the outro. It's great.
That outro's never changing.